Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I will be your host today. How's everybody doing? Hello, Ben Bacon Bits, Sandy Wandy, Matrix Rabbit. Good to see you. Let's see who we got on the lifeboat side here. I am the Noise Opera. Hello. Hi, Becca Jean. Good to see you guys. Hopefully it's all starting to feed into my chat stream here. Woo! So, what's up? I'm hoping we'll have some. Hello, Crystal. How are you? Hoping we'll have some people in today. I wanted to talk about honesty, and I'm having to kind of do some radical honesty with myself. I'm about to start Adderall for ADHD. I have struggled with it my whole life, and as I've gotten older, it's just gotten harder and harder to manage. And this is the first time that I've sought treatment for it. I'm under a good to see you're doing okay, Crystal. I'm under the care of a psychiatrist for it right now. And hi, Kim. Oh, I'm sorry you've caught a cold. That sucks. Hi, Mayonnaise Entertainment. Good to see you. So anyway, you know, the only way that I'm going to be able to do this medicine is to stay strict with myself about being honest. You know, I'll be honest. I'm a little nervous about starting it. It's probably the most druggy drug that I've taken since I have been clean and sober. I've always told doctors that, you know, about my past, about rehab, and that I have had struggles with substances in the past. Whew, I can't today. Nothing works the way it should. I hate those days, Matrix. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Sandy Wandy. I hate those days. So yeah, that link there will allow somebody to come in and be on screen. You don't have to have your camera on if you don't want to. But yeah. Hello, Shannon. So, hi, Tony B. Not a good day for me at all. I'm sorry to hear that. What's going on? What can we help you with? All right, since it's just me now. Hi, Crystal.
Hello.
How are you?
Alive.
Well, I've heard it said that as long as we're fogging up the mirror, there's still hope.
I guess so.
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead, and I'll ask you when you get through saying what you're getting ready to say.
Came home early. Well, sort of. Left work early. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
Stopped by our Salvation Army on the way home.
Yeah.
I was doing some volunteer work there a few months ago.
Yeah.
But I'm not ready to go back yet. So, but I stopped there because I saw some really nice big plant pots. And there was about 2 or 3 of them. Well, I found out that they were already sold. So it's like, darn.
Oh,
But
that sucks.
Oh well. I'll find some nice ones. I've got her looking, but in the process, I asked her if she knew of anyone that would do odd jobs, so that I could have somebody to do like the lawn mowing and some of the outside work. And she says, yeah, actually, A's kind of looking for some more stuff to pick up because him and his wife are expecting and soon, and
Okay.
both of them work at Salvation Army, and she only
Yeah.
works a couple days, but he works full time.
Yeah.
And so I have somebody lined up that will be able to like do the lawn mowing and possibly some other odd jobs and stuff as well.
Right
So
on.
I asked him, I said, "So what do you charge?" And he says, "Oh, well, minimum wage. We'll work from there." And I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, no, I'll be paying him better than that."
Yeah. Right on.
So,
Tony, I am so sorry you're having a hard day. You've been going through it for a couple of days now. Do you want to talk about it? You're not losing people from your life, are you? And I'm sorry you're sick, my other's keeper, Kim. Yeah. I hope you start feeling better. So yeah, was it Shannon that was asking me about what I was taking? I'm gonna be starting Adderall tomorrow. And I'm a little scared because of my history with drugs and alcohol, But I'm gonna follow the script and follow the doctor's orders. And I am scared though. I don't know what to expect as far as like how it's for ADHD. It is amphetamine salts is what what it is. And just reading that part of it just really just made me super nervous about it. And okay, no, just how I feel, and I will type but not talk. I will end up crying even more. Okay. Adderall's a big one. My sister was quite abusive with it. Just be sure to take it as prescribed. Yeah, Shannon. I have dealt with ADHD my whole life, but I've never sought treatment for it. Hi, Ponzi. One diet and day at a time is all the Lord gives us. That's true. That's true. I'm on Bifenton for ADHD. I've never heard of that one. Is it similar? Is it anything like Adderall, Kim? Yeah, so I hope it goes well too. Like I said, no, I haven't tried anything until very recently. I was on Strattera, and all it was doing was making me feel like I was getting sick all the time and wanting to sleep all the time. So, um, so she said if it made me feel sick to discontinue it, and we would go with the second choice, which was the Adderall.
mhm.
So, Vance, people seem to be less abusive with it. Okay, Shannon. If I start noticing anything like any weird wanting to try to deviate from the way taking it the way it's directed, uh, I will ask about that one. I'll take a screenshot so I can have the name of it. Uh,
We
and
sometimes have different drugs up in Canada as well than you guys do.
okay,
So that might be a Canadian one.
okay. It's the same as Ritalin, she says, but it smooths out much better rather than fast ups and downs of Ritalin. That's what they wanted to put me on as a kid, and my mom refused to let them do it. And Vyvanse doesn't have a street value, so people don't seem to abuse it as much. Okay, Shannon, good to know. Mayonnaise entertainment. That sounds good, Carol. I would be scared also. I hope the new meds work out for you. I do too, because it's just as I've gotten older, it's just gotten so much harder to manage around the ADHD. And
Yeah.
yeah, just I feel like my mind and my brain and my mind or whatever has just been in a tug of war, like for a long time. And it's just gotten more and more intense.
So it's making sure that you just take what the doctor is prescribing.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you need more, make sure to go to your doctor and talk
Right.
to him or her again. And
Right. I'm not on the lowest of the lowest dose. I'm in the low range dose.
yeah, well, because
Um,
usually they usually start you off on a low dose and then adjust as needed.
right. Yeah. So Tony, do you want me to read your comments, or are you just wanting to just chat, be in the chat? I don't know what you need, but let me know if me chatting back and forth with the chat would be helpful. That would be good. Hi, Rebecca. My new ADHD med is something that builds up in your system. Yeah, that's how Strattera was supposed to be for me, but I couldn't get there. It was just making life a little too miserable. The last 2 weeks haven't been great. However, this week things are good. I was so productive today and it was amazing. That
Oh, that's
is
awesome.
good. Oh, that's got to feel amazing. Yeah. I could use some productivity. My med isn't a stimulant. Yeah. Super fatigued today, but I have been very productive at work and I'm feeling good about myself and my work. That's
That's awesome,
fantastic.
Rebecca.
It is. It really is. Okay, Tony. All right. So I'm going to go back here. Tony B. Jonathan was upset about things and was yelling. And I got to the point where I couldn't stay calm and started screaming at him. This is not me. Stupid menopause. Oh. Yeah, I finally had to get on hormones for my menopause. And I waited later than I should have. It probably could have done me a lot more good had I done it much earlier. You
Yep.
know, right now it's like it's just kind of just keeping up with not quite playing catch up. If that makes any sense.
I pretty much went straight on hormones after my surgery. That was the
Okay.
first thing I wanted, was get me on something that's going to stabilize me.
Yeah. 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 Prayers for you, Tony B. Not no talk, Tony. I know what it's like to lose many people in my life, and it's devastating. Shannon, you've been through a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have anybody on the lifeboat side yet? Hello. Okay, so Ponzi's still. Hopefully Ponzi's still with us. My others keep. Sorry, I need to go sleep. Okay, Kim. I hope you feel better.
Yep.
Right on. Rebecca Emmerfall, I was actually thinking of reaching out to you to talk to you. So, have you visited much as far as like your addiction and treating your addiction, the honesty aspect, or do you kind of stay under the cloud of denial sometimes?
Um, for me, I think I flip flop.
Okay.
It's really hard to be honest because of because my addiction is kind of twofold. Like, yeah, there's the porn, but there's also the hurting myself, which doesn't always mean going to the porn.
Okay.
So I know I have to be honest when I do go onto the sites because it's not good.
Yeah.
But there's times I need that release.
Okay.
Um, and so there's times when, yeah, I hurt myself, but I kind of need that at that moment. And there's times I can go there and not hurt myself and
Really?
be okay with it.
Okay.
But when it gets to be something that I'm constantly going towards, then I know that there's underlying issues
Okay.
and have to be more honest with myself on what's making me go there more often.
Okay. You have a therapist, right?
Yeah.
Does your therapist give you any alternatives, ideas for alternatives for both of those issues?
Um, we don't really talk about it too much
Why not?
because it's not at the forefront. Like it comes up when we do some of the trauma therapy, but
Okay.
just every day, like talking about everyday stuff, I don't usually say too much. Um, thankfully, the counselor that I see now is, I'm going to say, okay with me going there,
Okay.
where some of my counselors, and she's okay with me talking about it, where some of my previous counselors would literally, oh, they would shame me for going there. And that was really difficult.
Yeah.
If I can keep it just to masturbating and not actually going and physically harming myself, like going too hard or burning myself, um, then I'm more okay with it than when I feel like I need to hurt myself in the process.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, and it's been a struggle this last little while because a lot of stuff is starting to come up to the surface again.
With all the stress you've been under, huh?
Peeling the other another layer off the onion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably because of all the stress and because of just feeling like I'm not worthy, and that's what I go to when I feel like that.
Have you ever
So,
considered putting something in front of it, like finding another type of go-to?
um, I try to distract myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of times I'll try, like, if I can, I'll reach out to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, sometimes not even telling them why I'm reaching out, just, hey, I need to talk,
Yeah.
and that can help at least put it off.
Okay.
And the longer I can keep putting it off and putting it off, the less I'm going there.
Yeah.
So
Are is your counselor trauma informed?
she's a trauma therapist. Yeah,
Okay.
I
Does
actually I do the trauma work with her. Yeah.
do you do like EMDR or um, CBT
No.
or anything like that? What do you mind me asking what you guys do? Because I actually am looking for a trauma-informed therapist.
Most of what we do is probably cognitive behavioral therapy, talk therapy. The last little while, it's how do I describe it? The last little while, we've more or less just been talking about what's been going on through the month, because I
Okay.
only see her once a month,
Oh, okay.
and because I can't afford anymore. But when we do go into the trauma or into the abuse stuff, which it's all connected,
Yeah.
most of it is just talk therapy.
Okay.
I think I'm kind of in the maintenance stage of things now,
Okay.
if you want to call it that.
Have you ever talked about
Um,
like ketamine or anything like that for the trauma?
no,
Okay.
because to
Oh,
me, I can talk it out, and
okay.
it and thankfully she actually lets me talk about it.
Okay.
Where some counselors, the one I was seeing before this one,
Mhm.
every time I wanted to even bring up about talking about a memory or something, she would shut me down.
Wow.
And to me, that felt like I was being told, shush, just like I had been all the
Yeah,
time growing up.
that's right. How is it any different? And Kristen Melinda says, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry any counselor shamed you for that. No therapist should be shaming you for anything.
yeah.
That they have no business being a therapist if that's how they operate.
The thing
That's
is,
disgusting.
because in the Christian field, I guess, and
Oh,
those that have, yeah, enough said. Some of them shame because of that. So
yeah.
yeah, one of the things that I've been doing with my counselor is I've been taking my photo albums in, and we started at birth, and we just go through each album, and if a picture pops out or whatever, I'll talk about some of the pictures, and it's kind of growing me up in a
Okay.
sense, and
Is it like
sharing. Okay,
kind of like maybe trying to reparent yourself or something? Or
um it's just kind of, I guess, in a sense, I'm trying to go through, and okay, I can see that at this age I know something was happening. This picture, this was the beginning of it all. This is a picture of around the time that the first abuse happened.
right.
Um, if you want to call it that at that point.
Absolutely. I
Like
would call
it
it
was
that.
still a form of grooming, but it was kind of already starting to go a little bit further than
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
And that's kind
Hmm.
of what I'm hoping to do, is just go through so that I can kind of share with her, okay, in this picture I know that about this time this is where it had progressed to, and
Hmm.
it's also sharing some of the good memories, because even though
Okay.
we all have trauma, there's
Yeah.
still good things. And so it's learning to put both together.
Right. Okay.
So,
How are you, Rebecca?
I am pretty good. I'm very fatigued and I didn't get enough sleep last night because I saw my partner. Um, but I'm amazingly good, which
Good.
I'm a little disconcerted about.
Waiting for a shoe to
Uh-oh.
drop, another shoe to drop.
Kind of, yes. Because I left a message for my doctor because all the last 2 weeks there's been a lot of depression, not very as much anxiety, but depression and suicidal thoughts and feeling worthless and all of those things. So the fact that the last couple days have not been that way is kind of amazing because it was every single day,
Mhm.
Yeah.
most of the day. And
Yeah.
so I had a really good therapy session with my therapist on Monday. And she pulls some stuff from Buddhism, which I can relate to. And so, yeah,
Okay.
little things
Wow.
like the desires that we normally have. So part of the pain is the desire to have something that potentially we can't have. Kind of,
Yeah.
there is pain in this world the same way there is good in this world. And
Yeah.
you end up having to have both
Yeah.
to live in this world. So
Yeah.
that wasn't like the entire, that's like really short. So we did kind of go over it, and I've thought about a lot of that because notes. I take notes in therapy. So I've
Right
been thinking
on.
about that a lot this week.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things she pointed out, she's like, the point of life is to learn something we hadn't known before, whatever that happens to be. So the point of this life, when I feel like I can't give to anybody else, the point of this life isn't for me to give every single thing to everybody or to be there for everybody. It's to learn stuff. And if I can give and help people along the way, I want to do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be a little less hard on myself. I think that's the big thing, is feeling really, really hard on myself. I'm really good at that. And I've been maybe, I think, a little less hard on myself the last couple days.
Good.
And that's how,
Yes.
by any sense of the word, I don't think this is like the end of all the, it's suddenly going to be amazing now. That's not how life works.
Right.
But I need to appreciate and be thankful for this little piece of peace.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
and
For sure.
not feeling bad about myself. And people like Tony are amazing, because I think we talked Monday too. So
Yeah.
great to
Tony,
see you too.
I hope that we can kind of get you through a little bit. I haven't been reading her things out loud, but I just hate that you're going through such a hard time.
Yeah.
And the hormonal fluctuations don't help. Yeah.
You're not a bad mom, Tony. I'm going to tell you this again when we talk. You are not a bad mom.
No, I see you with that grandbaby ears. I can tell you're a very attentive mom.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you're a good mom. I become extremely hard on myself, saying things like, I'm a bad mom person. I don't deserve what I have. Whether we deserve it or not, we have what we have. And you have some blessings, and that's okay. It's okay to be blessed. It's okay to have blessings in our lives, and to allow for that.
And you deserve blessings in this life.
Yes.
Absolutely. You've been through
Crying is
more than enough.
Yeah.
More than enough to
deserve
lots of really good things.
Yeah. Shannon Smith, crying is cathartic. I think I spent most of Sunday crying. I didn't even have a reason. Yeah.
See, and the crying for no apparent reason, that's been my last 2 weeks. And so not feeling that. That's why not feeling, I think. I'm not on the verge of tears constantly. So I'm going to Be thankful for that. Hope it
what's
stays.
what's worse than crying is not being able to cry when you need to. I spent years like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never had that. So what is that like?
You feel numb.
Okay.
You get to where you're just going by rote, you know, and yeah. But I tell you, I knew I needed to cry over the death of my father. I knew I needed to cry over, losing my son to adoption, even though it was the choice that I made. It was still a loss.
Yep.
But there was a part of me that was so loud that was like, if I start, I won't be able to stop, you know?
Yep.
And sure enough, when I moved back here to where it quote unquote, the scene of the crime, Northwest Arkansas, where I grew up and where I had my baby and, gave him up and all that. I was driving through the town where he grew up every day, back and forth to work, and I would cry all the way home, cry all the way to work. Yeah. And it was that kind of crying that didn't feel healing. It just felt like it just made my throat hurt and my heart hurt,
No.
And I think that was what I was so afraid of, having to go through that level of pain,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't say I really healed much from it until I actually started speaking to my son. It's because the loss was him. I lost him, I lost his childhood, and I lost family. He was my family, and I'm so thankful to have him in my life now, but who knows? We don't get to go back and revisit, the what ifs. Crying gets some negativity and anguish out of my system. It does for me. It does that for me now. It took a long time to get there, to where tears were just cleansing and healing, But when I cry, I feel amazing. Yeah, Heather. Tony B. Not talk. No talk. Tony. Crying gives me a headache. Oh, and I'm prone to migraine, so I try to avoid getting even a headache. Yeah, I can see where that would happen. Yeah.
I can relate to that too. I don't necessarily get a migraine, but getting a headache and then my eyes hurt and then just your head hurts and
yeah. I agree, seventh son. Crying does clean one's soul.
When I cry a lot, I find I get exhausted.
Yes.
And my face just hurts. My eyes feel like there's sand in them.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yep.
But that's when you need to go and get a big drink of water as well, because you're dehydrating yourself through your tears.
That was an adorable picture, which you didn't see it, Crystal, behind you. The little cat's head sticking out behind the curtain.
Oh.
It was really very adorable.
Yeah, they're all over today. He's sitting on the table pushing my laptop around, so the other one is curled up by my feet. We'll see how long that lasts.
When I'm working on myself, it feels so good crying. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
it does, and it does cleanse the soul. I'd love for you to clarify old age 16. By the way, welcome. It's nice to see you. What if our best left in the past? Every day you shine, we shine. I'd love some clarification on that. Sounds like it's something good. I agree with you all. Crying is good for me emotionally in all the ways, but the hurting is what I don't like. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes when you're hurting, the crying just emphasizes the hurting. I went through a lot of that when I finally did start crying. And I knew I needed to, you know, because you are worth it. Yes.
Mhm.
Did you know that crying releases about 80% of stress hormones? No, I did
I did
not.
not know
That
that.
is good. That is good to know. Mayonnaise entertainment. I've been so scared to think about my past. I never really took an honest look at it till I started to journal. And all I want to do is cry. Well,
Hmm.
yeah. Sometimes you don't you get to get around it.
Mhm.
Like I said, the alternative of not crying, not being able to cry when you need to,
Hmm.
that's pretty rough. We need to hurt to get better. It's tough though.
Yep.
Yes,
Mhm.
Heather. Yeah. Cleaning your soul is like cleaning your fridge. You don't do it as often as you should. Right on, seventh son. Ben Bacon Bits. Do good recklessly. Old age 60. It's as if we see people happy. It makes you happy. Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah.
I actually had to kind of learn how to cry and that it was okay to cry. Um,
Yeah.
it used to be I prided myself in not crying in counseling until I went into a treatment facility for dealing with abuse. And the first day I bolted from a group because I was gonna start to cry. And one of the staff that night challenged me. She cornered me out on the balcony and would not let me go in and disappear until I talked to her. And in the talking to her, I started crying. And she says, "Well, why are you so afraid to cry?" And I said, "Because it shows weakness." Because to me, that's what it did. My mom would use her tears to get what she wanted.
Okay.
And we were also told, "Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about," which we
Oh,
knew was the oh, I do too. Because I knew that it would be the strap.
yeah. Oh, I'm
And it
so
was,
sorry. Mm,
and she would use the strap until you stopped crying on bare legs.
yeah.
So I learned not to cry. And yet, when I was at that facility, one of the other ladies that was there, she said, "You need to feel to heal."
Yeah.
Now, I hate that word feel in that context because to me, feel is a totally different word.
Okay.
It means something totally different to me.
Really?
But I got what they were meaning.
Okay.
And there wasn't really a better way of putting it because you can't say having emotions is a good thing to heal. So it just didn't fit. So,
Mayonnaise entertainment. I've tried to run away from my pain and past ever since I got sober. Yeah, mayonnaise, and there may be something in you that's protecting you till you can get a firm enough foundation under you to be able to walk through that. That might be, I don't know, but that might be one aspect of it. And
I know
when you
I heal from it,
when you can face it, you'll be able to.
Yeah.
but if I've not addressed and not looked at things because I didn't have what it takes to deal with them. And so I
Right.
get that you just can't take one more thing, and so it kind of gets pushed back.
Yeah.
Doesn't solve anything.
Yeah.
It's still sitting there. But
Right. That's true.
And it eventually comes out.
That's right. And sometimes in ways
And
you don't like and don't want.
yeah,
Yeah.
and in unhealthy ways.
Right. Heather,
and
when
the
I
work
plan
on
on working on myself, I do make sure I have someone around who cares just in case I need them.
that's a
That
good
is a
idea.
great strategy, Heather.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like that. You know, I finally had to get honest with my husband about my spending. You know, I mean, he was seeing the packages coming in, but I would clam up. And even though I'm in some trouble, you know, and he's having to help me deal with that. Finally, just being honest with him about everything and not holding anything back has made us be able to connect better. And I'm so
Yeah.
thankful that I have someone in my life that's like that. That's not, you know, throwing it back in my face and, you know, judging me, because, you know, that's an addiction that's not only legal, sometimes you got to do it. You've got to shop, you know, but I was out of hand, you know,
Yeah.
and yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot lately. You know, whatever our problems are, we're not going to get past them, and we're not going to be successful in our recovery without some honesty. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not going to successfully recover from being an abusive shopper without being brutally honest. And so I tell him everything that I need to spend, you know, and what I'm spending it on. And, you know, and I show him the receipts, and I keep myself accountable to him now, you know,
That's good.
because yeah, it is good. I'm hoping that he doesn't, you know, that in a heated moment, he doesn't, you know, punch down on me. You know, it's a risk that you take, you know, when
Yeah.
someone's familiar with you, you know, but he seems to be compassionate about it. So,
And if you're willing to keep yourself accountable to him, that's going to say more to him than you going behind his back and still
yeah,
doing that shopping.
I think he was just so relieved that I did come clean,
Yeah.
you know.
It's honesty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not going to recover without it, you
Mhm.
know.
True.
Yeah. A lot
Crying
of times we
shows
seem,
strength. Hmm?
a lot of times, at least I know in my life, I find that if I'm working on one addiction and getting over it, I tend to go to something else and get addicted to that. So you just trade one addiction for another, and it's like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, well, it's a matter of finding something that's healthy,
yeah,
that doesn't hurt you, you know, some
Mhm.
kind of activity that, you know, occupies your mind, or that's physical, or, you know, that's creative, you
yeah,
know. that's some kind of outlet, because we need outlets. There's, that's just the truth.
And we can't get past what we don't acknowledge.
That's
as much
true.
as it's hard
Yeah.
to acknowledge it. But
Yeah.
and sometimes I'll be frank, there are times I just don't want to work on anything because it
Yeah.
feels like I am perpetually working on something, this trauma
Yeah.
here or something over here or whatever it is. And some days
Yeah.
or weeks, I just really don't want to work on anything.
I can
Can I
appreciate
just
that.
for a week or two?
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I do have
But-
something I could show you guys that I've been making.
I would love
I put
that.
Oh, yes.
So I have 4 of these, and they're not done. But this is part of a quilt.
Oh, wow. That's
So
That is
pretty.
gorgeous.
One of these panels like this with one kind of center block.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
I
these are
love
going to be,
that.
I'm going to add triangles to each end. And so this will become a long rectangle. And so, yeah. And so I'm almost done with each row. So I've got to add another piece down here. But yeah, so this is the current
Wow.
quilt we are working on.
Gorgeous.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's kind of a dark to medium teal, and then there's teal in this. It's a Stonehenge fabric.
Okay.
So I don't know how well you can see that there's teal in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is kind of combos of orange and rust.
I love it.
So yeah, so this is what I've been working on. And I spent Sunday morning, I sewed for like 2 hours, which was really good. I needed that.
Right on. That's fabulous.
So
Rick would
yes,
like
I've been following
for Ben.
Yay.
Would Carol, Ben, and Kristen do a show? There is an addiction that no one talks about. I think you 3 would do it best. Just a thought. And what addiction is that, Rick? I think you 3 would do it best. Just a thought. Okay, well, lay it on me. What's your idea? I'm open to that. Totally. Mayonnaise entertainment running from our pain and past never works because it always catches up to us, says Tony. Yeah. This is the place for that. A lot of giving support. Yeah, Rick. Old age 60. There's so much hatred in the world right now. Oh, where is it? The good people, whoever you are the glue keeping us together. That's all I've ever wanted to be in life, is a good person, and that's all I've wanted for my son to be, is a good person, and he is. I don't think you can ask more from life if you have a child than that's someone who is a good person. And I'm so proud of him for that. I didn't have anything to do with that. It's who he is, and he works
So
at
in
it.
some way, you may have a little bit more of an influence than you realize, because being there, also if there was healing he needed to do because his mom wasn't there, the fact that you are there and you've talked about it and you've done all this stuff, actually you potentially have done more for him than you realize.
Well, I hope so. Because Lord knows I had a lot of making up to do. It always haunted me that, once I got sober, it haunted me that he would ever have a night where he would have to lay his head on his pillow and wonder why his mother didn't want him, because that just wasn't the case at all. And I've tried to make sure that he knows that it wasn't because he was unwanted. It was the exact opposite. I just didn't believe that I was worthy of, I didn't think that I would be a good mom. I didn't think that I would, I just had too many issues that I felt like could get in the way of it. Drinking and doing drugs was one of them. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out. Ben Bacon Bits. I know when I was in survival mode, Shannon Smith says, everything was put on hold. Yeah. Survival mode will do that for sure. Setting our pain and past to the side for the moment is okay, but running from it does no good. Yeah, Tony B.
Yep.
My goal every day is to stay connected to source and feel everything and deal with it as it comes up. That is a great thing, Heather. Janet G says, Crystal, I think it sounds like crying in your background was used as manipulation, control, and currency.
Oh, yeah.
Straight up abuse, not weakness. Sending you love and healing, Crystal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, we knew it was manipulating because she would start crying and we'd be going, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We gotta fix it.
Honesty with our partners. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. I apologize. Go ahead.
I finally got to the point where I said enough is enough and told her that there was no contact. So.
Yeah. That is a sad and a hard thing when we have to do that with family, but sometimes you just do for your own mental health.
Pretty much my family. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
Pretty much my family is the people that I choose to put in as a family.
Yeah. And that's sometimes the best family we get is the ones that we get to choose. Yeah.
Yep.
Honesty with our partners is always the best way to go. I know that I have to be that way with both my men. Yes. Hello, Mince. Good to see you. Today I opened up, Tony B, to Dustin with a little coaxing from him about my feelings of abandonment. Seventh son, believe you can, and you are more than halfway there. Right on, Seventh. Heather, I'm addicted to plants and gardenings, but I grow everything myself, and I'm proud of my work. Right on. I have in times past done a lot more of that. When I didn't have animals, I was all up in gardening and all about it. Old age 60, are the best therapist is yourself? Yeah, maybe, but we have blind spots. That's one of the big double-edged sword there, if that's the right thing to call it. We have our blind spots, things that we see, things that we don't see, things that we don't want to see, but there are definitely things that we miss. Just straight up don't see them. And that's when we need other people to kind of put a mirror up and let us see what's been over there in that blind spot. Oh, crud. Where'd that come from? No problem, Misha. I'm glad you got to talk to your girls. My men know I will spend money on phone games and that it can become a really big problem for me. So I told them I deleted my games. Right on. Shannon Smith, Heather, that's so awesome. I'm so jealous. That is amazing, Heather. Rick Spicer wants to know if you have any swatches to show.
And that's why I showed my quilt thing that I've been working on.
Yeah.
Haven't done really anything else.
There are good addictions, Misha. Agreed. I would give you all the plants if I could. Aww. Yes, there are good addictions. Exercise can be good. A hobby can be a good addiction. Yeah. 100%. I'm addicted to jokes. Right on.
What's yellow and stupid?
I don't know.
This guy. No, he's pretty smart.
It's in the chat. Thick custard.
Oh.
What? Thick custard?
Mm-hmm.
That's the okay. Right on. So I wonder if that comment from Rick was up before, was that up before you showed your swatch?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just a little behind in the chat. They have parents strong enough to change. That's awesome. You should be proud, Rebecca. It's lovely. It is
Thank
amazing.
you.
I can't wait to see the finished product. You will show it to us, right?
I will, yes.
You better.
What did you say?
Right.
You better.
I'll show you the quilt top. I don't know that I'll worry about getting it quilted and doing the rest of it.
Okay.
Because I'm realizing I'm having more fun making the quilt tops. And
Okay.
I don't know what I would use as a backing for it. So instead of stressing about it, let's just maybe not worry.
No.
So, yeah.
That works.
Or maybe I'll do flannel. So it's really lightweight.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, I love that.
Because then it could be like a throw blanket, but it's just a layer of cotton and then a layer of flannel. So it won't be really thick. But then it would be fairly lightweight for summer.
Yep. And still warm.
Have you ever seen a Cantha quilt? I don't know if that's the correct way to pronounce it, but they take old saris and make quilts out of them. Mm-hmm. And it's just a double layer of cotton, and it's just, just row after row after row of basting stitch.
Yep.
And I have one, and I love it. It is just enough warmth when you need just a little bit of warmth from the AC or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I love that thing. I'm going to be sad if I ever wear it out, which it's kind of starting to get that way.
Do you want a turquoise and rust kind of orangish thing quilt? I don't have a plan for this one when it's done.
Well, I mean,
it doesn't. I don't know if it goes with your house, and that's okay if it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know what I've got a baby quilt. I have no idea what I'll do with. I've got another quilt that's the Amelie that I finished that I don't know what I'm going to do with. I think I put them underneath my bed because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this.
Actually, those colors would work in my living room, but I mean, only if you want to. It's and I'm happy to pay you for it.
Thank you. If nothing else, if you can pay to have it shipped to you.
Okay.
Which reminds me, what I need to do is get you the flash drive at the exact same time. because I have a flash drive for you too.
Okay.
Of movies.
The Star Wars thing.
Yep.
Right. Nice.
But yes, this will be. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one yet, but I do like it. I'll do a little bit of quilting. I'll do straight line. It'll be really basic. I don't do anything too complicated because it's the least fun part of it.
Oh,
For me,
Ben
at least,
Bacon Bits would love to do something with Kristen Melinda. That sounds good. Your son has forgiven you. That's all you need. That's true. Yeah, if he's forgiven me, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks.
Yes, agreed.
Mm-hmm. Ben Bacon Bits needs to do a channel on his journey to become a hypnotist. Okay, Misha, Carol at Needing a Meeting. I would love to have the experience you are giving your son. I'm so grateful to see it. You are a great mom. Just had your own particular brand of obstacles. Love. Thank you, Misha. Yeah. Acceptance, confidence. Yeah. I was an alcoholic in the early 90s. It was the hardest thing in the world to come off of. Yeah. Quitting drinking is no joke. It can even be a deadly thing. Some people, go through withdrawals that can become deadly. It's no joke. I'm glad you are sober now. Am I right? Do I have that right? Old age 60? Good for you, Crystal. That had to be so hard. I admire your strength, says Misha. Sorry, I was being quiet. Okay. When I ended up in ICU, Tony, due to overdosing on sleeping pills, my brother was contacted. From that point, he has never really talked to me since. First real abandonment, and a big one. Huge.
Well, and some of it is, because we've talked about it, some of it is to Jehovah's Witnesses, that's a sin. It's to potentially risk taking your own life. It's just, there's no tolerance for anything. Even if it was a mistake, there's just no tolerance.
Yeah. When there's no mercy, what is the point of a religion? When there's no mercy in it, what good is it? I can't see any good in it. Ben, you are becoming a hypnotist. I went to hypnotherapy and it was great. It was a great experience, says Sandy Wendy. Oh, that's the yellow and stupid. Okay. Am I catching up to the chat at all? Having someone who will listen can help me see what's in my blind spot. Yes. Yes,
can
Sandy
you
Wendy.
In the chat, Carol?
Can I see what?
Can you put the link to join in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you're feeling good enough to do that, Tony. All right, there it is. Get up in here.
I'm going to say goodbye.
Okay, Crystal. Thank you so
much.
To
get some stuff done.
Right on. Yeah, I got you, Sandy. On the blind spot. Blind spots are like that, Rebecca. Says Bacon. Rebecca has to really watch out with the sneaky moose up there in the Great White North.
I hate to say it, there's really not many moose in Minnesota. However, on Isle Royal, there are a lot of moose.
Where's that? Where's that?
It's in Lake Superior. It's almost at the
Okay.
Canadian border. You can see Canada.
Oh, wow.
You can see Canada from the boat when you're going there, and it's an island, so there's only you take a ferry, a boat to get there, and you're limited to 50 pounds. And so we went and we stayed, and it's not a year-round island, so there's hotel and what they call housekeeping cabins, which are you do your own housekeeping in essence. But we went there for 3 nights, 4 days. It was awesome. So hiking, and there's no internet. Well, technically there is, but there's you in your cabin or where you're at. There's not internet. There's not a phone because you're in the middle of nowhere. It's awesome. Right. Great to disconnect and unplug if you need to do that.
Amazing.
Hi, Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Good to see you.
So that overdose was intentional. Hug. That overdose was intentional. It was right after I left my ex-husband, within a month after leaving him, and I was feeling unloved, unwanted, unneeded. Yeah. I hit rock bottom basically, and friends came to find me because they were expecting me to show up at a car race, and I didn't show up. And when I didn't show up, my one friend, she goes, something's wrong. Jeanette should be here. And part of what threw me into the spiral is I knew about the race. And I guess I didn't realize they knew I knew about it. And so they were just expecting me to show up. But I was expecting an invitation. And when I didn't get that invitation, that was like that final trigger that sent me spiraling down. And I mean, I wrote 3 letters. I laid down in my bed, and when I didn't show up at the race, my friends came to find me. I had stopped breathing. I had aspirated into my lungs. My friend grabbed my shoulders and gave me a hard jar to make me take that breath, which I did, and everything. And I got taken to ICU in another town. And after 3 days, they asked me if I wanted to go to the psych ward for some mental health help. And I said yes. Yeah. I self-checked myself in for 3 weeks. That's where I learned to begin to stand with my husband and not allow him to yell at me. Matter of fact, I warned him 3 times and then told him, and each time I said, I'm going to hang the phone up. And on the 3rd time, I said, I'm hanging the phone up. And I hung the phone up. That was such a feeling of empowerment I had never had before, hanging that phone up. But the bad side of it, like Rebecca said, having come from JW family, doing something like that is a big, big, big no-no. And my family I talk to my mom occasionally. My brother very rarely calls me or talks to me or has anything to do with me, really. And it's hard. It's really, really hard.
That is hard.
I don't feel connected. I don't feel connected to them in any way because of the fact but that was my first true abandonment, like harsh abandonment.
And what a time to be abandoned.
Versions, but
the time when you needed it the most to not be abandoned. I'm so sorry, Tony.
Thank you.
They're often not supportive about somebody abused leaving. Because there's a whole you need to pray more about it. You need to be listening to your husband more, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, there's lots of
and leaving mine, I mean, according to them, I had reasons for marrying eventually. No, he was abusive. Why should I put up with his abuse? Why should I let him, tell me what I can and cannot do, but he can do it?
Right.
Why should I put up with all
Yeah.
that? Basically, the affair to go on next door. And in his mind, it's not, because I knew about it. He dragged me, led me over to her house so that I could be in the same bed as them while they're doing it. But he expected me to take care of myself. Yes, yes, yes. This is what I went through for a year. And finally I said, you love her more than me. Why are you with me? I'm leaving. But I didn't have the ability to care for our 3 children on my own. So I chose, we were living in his hometown. He was there. He had help. I had nothing, so I walked away,
Yeah.
and I got visitation with my children. So I understand the pain you feel, Carol. Gave your son. I feel that pain, even though I had visitation with my children and everything else. He had to approve of boarding before he'd let the children come in.
Why did he get that? Why did he
Call
get to
me
have
all
that
kinds of names
authority?
to the children
Why did
because
he
he
get to
got
have
full
that
physical.
authority?
He had full
Okay.
legal and physical custody because when we got
Okay.
a divorce, and I didn't,
Mm,
My mom had
Mommy and
that authority too.
Daddy.
yeah.
In the
Yeah.
divorce, my mom had that authority too.
I'm
Yes.
so sorry.
It's hard to think about
Yeah.
what, in the end, who do the children turn to the most now? Especially my girls. They don't turn to Dad.
Yeah.
If they're going through something, they talk to me about it. They don't talk to him about it. Now, he might help them out financially here and there, but if there's a problem or there's an issue, it's not him that they in. So I won
Right.
in the long run.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
That's how
Yeah.
that. But you
But it was
all
hell to
know.
go through, I'm sure.
Thank you. It was hell. Um, and I've been healing over the years. I've been healing and I've been learning. And I mean, I've got 20 plus years now into my healing, which is more than some, lessers, but I've got 20 years into it. And this is where I've learned therapy is essential, meditation, exercise is essential, time with those that you love, making your own family, whatever,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that's what helps through that healing process. That's you through the times when your eyes out because you think you're a terrible person. Or, you of your partners is time with a friend, go to here and hear that nothing's going to happen between them. And even if it does, because the type of relationship I'm in, it's okay. But it's that irrational fear that person that you love with all your heart is going to get taken away from you, or they're going
Yes.
to abandon you. And so I had to open
Yes.
up to Dustin about that this morning, and he knew that I was going to go through this because this isn't our first rodeo. Even Nathan knows that if the same thing he were to do the same thing, I'd go through the same emotions. But I know they're not going anywhere. Where do they lay their heads every night? They lay their heads every night on either side of me. They're right there beside me every night. They're not going anywhere. I know that. But that irrational fear in my brain, and it goes, they're going to leave you. They found somebody better. They found something they like better. And so it it's of it is, but it's not of my own doing.
No, I would.
It is and it's not, because I allow those fears to get in there and mess. Whereas if I were to say,
do you have a?
No, this is. Go ahead, Carol.
Well, I was just wondering if you had a therapist, someone to help you work through those fears, because they're coming from something that really happened to you, that was very real and very devastating.
Well, and the ironic part is, Rebecca talking about this.
It was
the fear of abandonment. When you and I talked on the phone.
Oh, you're talking to me. Sorry, I thought
yes,
you were
I said
talking
Rebecca.
to Carol. I'm sorry, I missed the Rebecca because we were cutting in and out a little bit. Yes, you did talk to me about that.
So, but it was the day that I realized that I have these abandonment issues that I've never addressed before. So now it's back to therapy for me. My problem is I go through the university here in Columbia.
Okay.
And because I'm on Medicare, I can only have the doctors that are covered by me. And the one that I was seeing is now gone. And I don't have one anymore. And so I need to reach out and find out the student ones. I always feel like then I have to go back through my story all over again, start all over again. And I hate starting over.
Yeah.
I want to just be able to pick up from continue on. So I have to do that. I'm also looking into there's an app or a website that I'm looking into as well. That I've heard other YouTubers espouse is a really good place to go. So I'm going to look into that as well.
Okay.
And see if it's something I might be able to afford. But I definitely have to address this issue of abandonment.
Yes. What's the name of the app, if you don't mind my asking?
If I was just looking at it, Talkspace. I don't think I.
Oh, okay.
I think there might be an app with it, but if you go to the website, go there, you can pick what kind of plan you want and everything like that.
Yeah.
And they do cover some insurances. So
okay, I've done Talkspace. I've done BetterHelp. Well, unfortunately, I didn't get somebody that I really connected with, but that's not. I don't think that's the app's fault.
Right.
And you know, and at the time,
you say that you can change who you have.
Yeah, and at the time, I just felt too bad to go to another therapist within the Talkspace. It was my own little hang up at the time, you know.
Yeah.
You know, breaking up with a therapist seemed pretty devastating at the time.
Yeah, I understand that.
So it's pretty much my fault that it didn't work out, you know. But
I was also smart.
Does it? I was going to ask about the insurance. Is it takes insurance, or is it the therapist that will take the insurance? Okay.
It says that they take the insurance, and I guess the therapists work through them or something. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how it works,
Okay.
but
Okay.
they say they take insurance. I'm going to give that one a try.
Okay.
So, but the other thing that happened today is got really upset, and he was throwing things and banging things, and I lost it, you know, after going through what I did this morning with Dustin and opening up. I was so raw, and my emotions were like right here, that I totally lost it on my son, and I started screaming at him.
Oh,
I don't scream
no.
at my children. And this is where the bad mom part comes in. And so I was
Okay.
smart. I knew I had lost it. I knew that you were
Mhm.
coming on soon, so I was really excited about that because I knew I could find some help here. But the other thing is I reached out to both Nathan and Dustin just now checked on me to see how I was doing. Nathan answered pretty quickly because Dustin only has certain times he can get on his phone. Nathan's kind of that way, but there's a little bit more freedom because as soon as he stops the big rig, he can get on his phone, and he does local. He takes the mail from the airport to the substation, and then to downtown, and then back to the substation, then back out to the airport, and he does that run 4 times a day. So when he's at one of his
Okay.
stops, he can get on his phone and answer me and make sure I'm doing okay. And so I sent them both messages about what happened between Jonathan and I. Nathan got on pretty quickly, and I just know from Dustin, and I know that they're always, and this is just me, because as soon as they have the
Right
chance to
on.
answer me, they're answering me.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm like dealing with all this as well, and like, as you got the tears going again, I'm pretty raw. I'm pretty raw right now, but and
Yeah.
shh, you guys can't told you this, but my oldest son Joshua and his wife are pregnant again, and they're the ones that
Oh,
lost their
wow.
second. So I
Oh,
just found out
that's
Friday.
so good.
So yeah, I found out Friday on my way to my daughter's, and I haven't told anything because he was the only person I was allowed to tell. But you know what? I know that I do, guys. You're not going to tell.
We're not going to
Nope.
tell.
We're
And
not going
actually,
to
if
tell.
I can share one thing that's polyamory specific, is one of the things about it is there is more freedom and relax. I mean, especially communication. But difference is that both of them are choosing to be with you every day. They're choosing to stay with you every single day. It's a choice because they could
Yes.
potentially do something.
It,
And so I just want to remind you, they're
yes.
choosing you every single day.
Yes. Yes. And it's kind of funny that you say that, Rebecca, because that's exactly what Dustin said. He
Yeah.
says, I choose you. He goes, I choose you, Pikachu.
Aw.
He knows I play Pokemon
Yep.
Go. So,
Aw.
but yeah. So, but they do.
Old
They
age
love
60
me.
says that you're not a bad mom.
Yep.
They do love you. Yeah.
Yes.
Old age says you're not a
And he
bad
does.
mom. Just sit down and explain to him. He will love you for it.
Yes. He, Jonathan has his own issues. He was bullied in school. One of the bullies actually
Oh,
pushed him down the stairs and gave him a really bad concussion. And ever since then, he's never been the same child that my husband and I raised. And he loses his temper really easily. He doesn't know how to deal with his temper and how to release it in a more creative way, let's say.
okay.
And hard. And then part of the reason he got mad is because for the last 3 days, his mental stability is really off whack. And he was thinking about self-checking him, but feeling suicide hurt somebody, they won't. And so when they left for a little bit, I sent Mallory, which is the baby's mom, a message and said, show this to Jonathan and tell him to think about this. We can get him set up for talk space, because he's had therapists in the past that just, they don't listen to him because Jonathan talks in a different kind of way. So you have to get used to the way he talks and the way he expresses himself, because he's a little backwards about it. And so it takes time to understand him. So he needs to learn to until they get used to him. So I'm hoping that this blowout between him and I will maybe get him to think about going to talk space and doing something there. And I'm willing to pay for it for him.
Yeah.
You know,
Right on. Right on.
even though he's 21,
Yeah.
he's got other bills he needs to worry about right now, like his insurance, because he's got SR 22, because he's had too many speeding tickets, that kind of thing.
What's
And he
SR
just got a
22?
new bike. SR 22 is insurance for people that have had their driver's licenses suspended due to either alcohol or speeding or accidents or things like that. And to carry SR 22 is,
And you cut out double, did you say?
yes, double.
Wow.
Regular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's put it this way. Our insurance, because our insurance company realized that he didn't have insurance, they automatically insurance. And then I had the SR 22. It took it and doubled.
Wow.
We went from just over 400 to just over 900.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. It's expensive.
It is. My eldest and myself are very bad about counseling our counselors, something we vowed to always mention up front when we started therapy. Sucks even when after I hear how hers is allowing it currently. Therapists need to be friends, and we should be allowed to receive our therapy. At least at the very least, be our advocates and our allies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think a therapist should be a friend, because then that begs the question of which might on a regular. Well, they help. No.
You're cutting out.
Yeah, you cut almost all of that got cut out. I'm sorry.
Okay, hold on. Sometimes I have to move my phone. I don't know why. Is that better?
I can hear you now. Yeah.
60.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what a proper crazy goldfish is. Just curious.
A proper crazy goldfish?
Yes. Old age
proper
60
crazy
has
goldfish.
3 cats, 1 dog, and a proper crazy goldfish. And I'd like to know what that is.
Well, I have 3 dogs, 3 cats, and a fish.
I would love that fresh eggs from the chickens. That would be amazing.
Mine, so they sit
Yeah.
on the counter. They can stay there for up to 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I do the same.
So, but yeah, I have lots of eggs. For the last 2 mornings in a row, I've had eggs for breakfast, and they've been so good.
Yeah. Right on. Well, are you
So
feeling
thank
better,
you,
Tony?
Carol. It's safe.
Yeah.
We can talk about whatever it is that's on our hearts, on our minds. And I appreciate you providing this space that I can open up like
Thank you.
this,
Thank
that there's
you.
others that go through the same thing I am, maybe different a little bit, understand.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I thank you for being here and for trusting us with these things that you're going through.
And we love you and want to support you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, and my rooster's about to die.
Uh-oh.
What?
What?
My rooster's about to die. I'm going to take his head off because he keeps attacking me.
Ooh.
He's getting
I don't know what
mean.
you do about that.
You take their head off and you eat them.
Don't they protect the hens though?
Yeah, but
That's why I let him
you don't
live.
want them attacking you, especially when you're feeding them.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
Not much worse than a
If he was a good
judgmental
boy and didn't
chicken,
attack
just
me.
saying.
Yep. That's exactly what he is, a
Has it just
judgmental
started?
chicken.
Did it just start? Did it just start, or has that been going on a while?
Last couple weeks, maybe. So if he can get his head out of his
Okay.
butt, he might get to live.
Ben just said,
Min-
get Rebecca to knit a new head. Maybe no one will notice.
Minst says, Tony B, no talk, Tony. You have a friend if you love, and God bless.
Thank you, Mince.
Yeah.
I'm on the Facebook group, so you can find me there. Just reach out if you'd like to.
Are you in the Needing a Meeting Facebook group?
Yes.
The Needing a Meeting one? Okay. Okay. I'll put that
Yes.
link.
Yes.
Let's see.
If they want my information, they can also get it from you.
Okay. Yeah. You can send me an email at needingameetingrecovery@gmail.com, or you can come to the Facebook group called Needing a Meeting Recovery. And I am going to post the link to the Facebook group. Here we go.
And Tony, I'm happy to chat later today. Whenever I
I'm
need
down
to
for that.
find myself some food and going and getting some packages, but I don't know what your
Okay.
schedule's like, and so just let me know.
It's open. Just give me a call when you get done doing what you need to do.
Okay. Sounds good.
Right on. You look better. You look like you're a little bit more peaceful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am.
Good.
It helps. I'm big
It
on
does.
therapy. To me,
Yeah.
it's you can type so much, but to be able to
Yeah.
actually verbally say words sometimes goes so much further.
Wow.
So much further.
I saw Tara smiling Discord, 20,000 members and freaked out and left. Sorry, that's crazy big. 20,000. Wow. That's great.
I tried to join Discord and then somehow lost my login for one, and then tried going in a different way. And I don't know if I created another account. I'm supposed to be IT. I think I have 2 different Discords. I don't know how to get one back. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm such a newbie.
I keep one of these.
Is that a journal? I can't.
It's
It's
his
a
password
password
journal.
journal.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I use LastPass.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's normally written down in LastPass, and I went in and I don't know how. I kind of was thinking, if I'm struggling, how many other people are struggling too?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I'm struggling to figure it out as somebody who does computers for a living, I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe it's just I've never done anything quite like it. But yeah.
I think, just the name Discord. I mean, why would you name something that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think about that from time
I
to
mean, if you
time. I'm
think
like,
about
that's not
it,
yeah. I
Unless
have thought
it's
about that.
designed to discuss and disagree. I've heard some people say there's lots of arguing on Discord, and I don't know that that's like
too.
Tara's group or if it's just some of them. There's a
I think it
lot.
depends
I don't
on
know.
the group. I think
Mhm.
they go through a pretty rigorous process to confirm people for the lifeboat one, and I've heard it's a good place. I
And
haven't
Ben
had
said,
the patience or the wherewithal to try to get back on Cord. It was a little bit too much.
it's from
oh, I
its
agree.
days of being game stuff. So that's
Yeah.
why.
Okay.
That would make sense.
That would make sense a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Discorded my brain. What it is.
Like that.
Well, what do you guys
Are
think?
you feeling better,
Have we had
Tony?
a
I have.
Sorry? I have.
You had a meeting? How are you doing?
Yes. I had to
good?
change my earbud out. The
Good.
other one was about to die.
I'm glad you're not leaving here in tears. That's a very good thing.
Yes. And I'll probably be calling you in about an hour.
Cool. Thank you again, Carol. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, yeah. You're very welcome.
Well, I will head out. It was great to see everyone.
Good to
Love
see
you all.
Love you too.
Hugs, love,
Yes.
support to everyone. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, you guys. Great community. I love you guys so much, and I hope to see you again next meeting. And until then, peace, y'all.